As we're 2 days away from the start of the 2024 NFL Draft, with the first round coming your way on Thursday night, Niners draft buzz really starting to pick up steam. And coming up on today's 49ers Report, just gathering some intel, following the paper trail on what the Niners might do in the draft. Speaking of that, we're going to be live for every single day, every single round, every single pick right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. So mark your calendars, April 25th, Thursday, through April 27th, which is a Saturday. It's going to be a party right here on the program. Don't forget to lock us in. And any player that the Niners do select, in-depth scouting profiles, insight, analysis, instant reactions, and during our live coverage, it's the go-to spot to celebrate with the faithful. All right, let's start off with this. Could the San Francisco 49ers surprise a lot of people and go with a cornerback in round one and not an offensive lineman? The closer we get to the start of the draft, the more I think that San Francisco could go this route for a couple of reasons. Now, a lot of you are probably asking yourselves, Chase, this is a team that desperately needs offensive line help. They're good at cornerback. You have Deommodore Lenoir. You have Charvarius Ward. Why pick up another one with premium draft capital? Honestly, it is a sneaky need that has kind of fallen under the radar for a lot of people who have been out of the loop. And for me, when I go back and watch the film, when I go back and think about how the Niners ended the year and their playoff performances against Green Bay, Detroit, Kansas City, cornerback was an issue at the end of the season. And in drafting a cornerback here in the first round, you do a couple of things. You get the best player available because I think with how the draft might transpire, you could get a top-tier cornerback with the 31st overall pick. You replenish the cupboard to a certain degree. And this is such a deep offensive tackle class that you can go and you can select a very good offensive lineman, offensive tackle in the second round of this draft. And as you look ahead, Charvarius Ward, Deommodore Lenoir, Ambry Thomas, Isaac Yiadom, Chase Lucas, they are all in contract years. So when I say replenish the cupboard to a certain degree, not only are you fulfilling a position of need, you're planning for the future, but you're getting a high-level player on your football team. And in my latest mock, which went out over the weekend, we put it together for the live show last Thursday, I had San Francisco going that route, where with the 31st overall pick, they select Kool-Aid McKinstry, the cornerback out of Alabama, and then a player who they covet, who they really like, who they went to Washington to specifically watch and scout and work with. Roger Rosengarten, the right tackle out of Washington, also falls to the Niners here with the 63rd overall pick. And here, you shore up your defense, you bulk up and you get better along the offensive line with players who are going to help you potentially now for the 2024 season, but also as we project forward for the years to come. And with how the board may fall, hello quarterbacks, a high-quality cornerback could realistically drop to the 31st overall pick because there's a lot of chatter right now in the lead up to the draft that Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, Drake May could go off the board in the first three picks. That's kind of been known, right? But how about some of these other quarterbacks who are climbing up draft boards recently? It wouldn't shock me if a J.J. McCarthy went number 2, number 3, or in the top 5. And now, as we get closer to draft time, Michael Penix Jr., top 10 pick, maybe even a first rounder. Bo Nix going inside the top 15. So if 5 quarterbacks go in the first round and if 5 quarterbacks go in the first 15 to 20 picks, what does that essentially lead to? And what does that do for the draft board? Really good players who you thought were not going to be available now start to slide a little bit. And they could either drop to you or a really good player who you covet. And the Niners have first round grades on 22 players. According to John Lynch, you could trade up for a player who you really, really like, or another one of those good players falls to you at 31 overall. And that really quality player could be a cornerback. Now, when I scout Kool-Aid McKinstry, I'm intrigued for a couple of reasons here. Ran a 4.47 at his pro day with a broken foot. Got surgery on that right after his pro day at Alabama. Expected to be back for training camp. He's 5'11", 199 pounds, very solid size there, good balance, fluid hips, allowing him to change direction very, very quickly, 32-inch arms, good instincts, good feel, good football IQ. He reads the eyes of wide receivers well, allowing him to make a beat on the football, allowing him to make a play on the football, allowing him to just cover wide receivers downfield and come through with some pass breakups. He has some special teams ability. He can return punts. The Niners did lose Ray McLeod to the Atlanta Falcons in free agency. They did sign Trent Taylor, but Kool-Aid McKinstry has a lot more speed, is much more elusive than a player like Trent Taylor. Dog mentality. I think that fits well on this defense for Kool-Aid McKinstry, and that short memory and being able to flush bad plays and being confident on the outside, important traits for a corner. Some concerns, the speed is just okay. While he does make plays on the football, he only had 2 interceptions in 2,199 snaps, but he's been a durable player, missed no games. So while he did have that Jones fracture surgery, been a very durable player throughout his career in Tuscaloosa. Other corners to watch outside of Kool-Aid McKinstry who could be of liking for San Francisco. I think you have to trade up for Quandre Mitchell out of Toledo or Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. Cooper DeJean is a Swiss Army knife who can do a little bit of everything. Freak athlete who can play safety, hybrid linebacker, slot corner, outside corner. He could just be used in a variety of ways like the Chiefs used Trent McDuffie, who now Niners fans know very, very well with how he performed in the Super Bowl. Nate Wiggins gathering some buzz for San Francisco. More on him here in just a second. And then Ennis Rakestraw out of Mizzou, another player who could sneak into the first round. Let's discuss Nate Wiggins here. Nate Wiggins is another player who could be within range for the Niners or fall to 31 overall. Niners did have him in for a top 30 visit in the pre-draft process. That news, according to Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area. There is so much to like about Nate Wiggins. What you don't like is the lack of size. Only 173 pounds, so he's a little bit light, and because of that, he can struggle against some bulkier and some stronger wide receivers, but the height, pretty good at 6'1", the speed, lightning quick. 4.28 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. So a great athlete who can absolutely fly. His 1.76 flying 20, that's pretty much a 20-yard split, the fastest among all corners at the Combine. He has awareness in man, awareness in zone, so he is a scheme multiple player. Great footwork, allowing him to be in position to make plays. He racked up 25 pass breakups over the last 2 years. The play strength, because of the lack of size, a little bit iffy. And again, he can get beat up a little bit in the run game. But Kool-Aid McKinstry, Nate Wiggins, all of those other corners, really, a little bit unsure about Ennis Rakestraw. I think that they could perform well for this Niners defense and be worthy of a first-round selection. With that, let's ask you this. What position would you draft in round 1? Cornerback or offensive line? If you came here for an offensive line conversation, we're going to get to that here in just a few moments. Also, some draft intel here from the John Lynch pre-draft press conference. He said that he believes in bloodlines. What he means by that is that the 49ers are in an interesting situation here. They can keep some draft selections in the family. You have Jerry Rice's son, Brendan. You have Christian McCaffrey's brother, Luke. You have Frank Gore's son, Frank Gore Jr. And then Terrell Owens' son, Tariq Owens, who is also a prospect in this draft class. Now, I think Rice and McCaffrey both get drafted day 2, day 3 guys. Gore and Owens are probably going to be priority undrafted free agents. I'm giving you a guarantee that the 49ers do not exit draft weekend without selecting either Brendan Rice, Luke McCaffrey, Frank Gore Jr., or Tariq Owens, or picking either Gore or Owens up as undrafted free agents. John Lynch said as much. He believes in bloodlines. I think the Niners keep it in the family and pick up at least one of those former Niners sons or current Niners brothers. Mouthful right there. Coming up next, an offensive tackle prospect linked to the Niners. Who is it? Stay tuned to find out. First, let's tell you about today's sponsor, and that is Game Time. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. They don't hit you with these outrageous fees like other ticketing apps do either. And you can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees, and you can buy tickets in seconds with just 2 taps. You can also save by using our code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event or even an hour after it begins. And you can get tickets for football games, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. You want to go to a San Francisco Giants game this summer or spring. You want to go to a Niners game in the fall or winter. What's great about the Game Time app, best seats at the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the event gets closer. You're guaranteed to get in the door at the lowest price among all of the ticketing apps, but also you can see what you will be seeing and the vantage point from those seats. I also utilize the flash deals from time to time. Just a simple swipe like you're on a dating app, but even better, you're on a ticketing app and you can get some of those hot deals. Again, $20 off using the code CHATSPORTS. That offensive lineman who the Niners have been linked to, Kingsley Su Maia, the BYU offensive tackle linked to the Niners in the first round of Thursday's draft. ESPN's Jayden Reed with a good nugget here. He's basically filled in for Todd McShay as the other draft analyst opposite of Mel Kiper Jr. He said, Suaam Mata, and this is coming from a scout to begin this quote, he's athletic, experienced at both tackle spots, and will be 21 throughout his rookie year. That's coming from an AFC executive. Sign me up for that in the first round any day of the week. After spending his first season at Oregon, Suaam Mata landed at BYU in 2022, where he started 12 games at right tackle and 11 games at left tackle. He seemingly has all of the traits that scouts covet as he plays with suddenness, power, and awareness. Suaam Mata, ranked 37 on my board, just has to get stronger and play with more consistent technique. At the back end of the first round, the Ravens at number 30 and the 49ers at number 31 are 2 landing spots that make a lot of sense. So good insight there from Jayden Reed. And we have talked in the pre-draft process by looking at all of these offensive line prospects, doing all of these mock drafts and mock draft roundups. Just a lot of scouting insight here on the channel. The receipts are there. We don't just do rumors as complainers complain about in the comment section. We've been talking about Suaam Mata, who is very gifted, would be a scheme fit, very experienced, and is still young and malleable, moldable. And this is a fascinating tidbit here. He had double-digit family members play either pro or college ball. John Lynch said, we like bloodlines. Suaam Mata has some bloodlines. Also has some really good size. 6'4", 326 pounds. He ran a 5.04 40-yard dash. That is excellent speed for a player of that size. 34.25-inch arms, pretty good. He packs a punch there. Nimble and quick feet in his sets. And I think that him having a boxing background leads to him being a mauler. I usually love offensive linemen who have a wrestling background because that means they're nasty and they'll provide plenty of pancakes. But with Suaam Mata having this boxing background, you see it with the nimble and quick feet and then him packing a punch. He's a good run blocker. You turn on the tape, a bunch of pancakes just driving dudes into the bench, into the sideline, into the grass. He's very experienced. 24 games, 23 starts in his college career, 12 at right tackle, 11 at left tackle. So if you want him to take over for Colt McKivitz now, he can. Trent Williams in the future, he's been capable of doing that too, playing on both sides of the line. Some concerns, did get a little bit fatigued going up against NFL competition. That could be because he's a little bit of a younger player and he might need a year to develop. But look, this is why the Niners drafted Colton McKivitz. There was a reason behind them giving him a 1-year, $7 million deal. Now, Colton McKivitz gave up, 45 pressures last year. I don't think he's a starting caliber tackle in this league for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, but a couple of things. It's solid backup money after we saw the terms of the contract. He can play inside, outside, be a swing tackle as a backup, but he's also very experienced. So if you need Colton McKivitz to play at least to start the 2024 season, you kind of know what you have. You can shield over George Kittle on that side to help chip block a little bit to give him some help, and then you can groom Suaam Mata in the meantime there. Other things that Adam Schefter, ESPN NFL insider, is hearing: Jayden Daniels could be the Washington Commanders pick for former Niners assistant general manager Adam Peters at number 2 overall, and not Drake May. I'm fascinated to see how the board drops after Caleb Williams. New England could trade down and then trade back up. That is a roster that is bereft of talent that allows them to compile some picks potentially and still get some marquee players in the first round, maybe a little bit later, depending on what picks they stockpile. Talking about Bo Nix going in the first round, and I mentioned that briefly a little bit earlier. He has some ties with the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford getting older, been banged up a lot. Bo Nix is a player who is very mature, gets the ball out quickly, very accurate, good processor. That is like a Sean McVay dream right there, and that's why Bo Nix, for those same qualities, has been linked to the Denver Broncos in the first round as well. This is scary. The Chiefs looking to add a wide receiver in round 1. I think they're going to get their hands on a really, really good player. A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Xavier Legette, Troy Franklin. There are a lot of wide receivers who Kansas City could get at number 32 to add to that offense. Plus, they're not sure what's going to happen with Rashee Rice. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, according to Schefter, could look to trade up for a cornerback. If you're going to join us for the NFL draft, type REAL1. If you enjoyed today's show, type REAL1. We appreciate you, as always, for watching the show, and be on the lookout. Fantastic content coming your way on the docket this week.